All right, welcome back to another episode of the All American Hoops podcast. I'm Chris Driscoll. As per usual, I'm joined by my young Matt.
AH, always a pleasure. Was it just me? Was the intro a little longer today, or is it always?
Was it why?
I don't know. Maybe it was just me. But
Okay,
a pleasure to be on. Very excited for this episode. I'm excited to talk some ball.
okay. Also joining me is my older brother John Driscoll.
thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure. This always adds a little bit of light to my Thursday evening. So thank you. I'm very excited.
Love to hear that. And I believe it's either for the fourth or the fifth time. I lose track eventually, but we have amazing friend of the show and fellow Celtics fan Matt McCann.
Thank you, AH. The intro is not long. It was short because I'm fired up to get started. Yeah, it's been a long hiatus this time around, but I'm ready to talk hoops. Season's right around the corner, so it should be fun.
Absolutely. Before we start, John and Matt, I'm pretty sure, was it OCU Manure who were the number 92, or is it someone else in the Giants that were?
Right hand. OCU Manure
OCU were
and
72.
OCU was 72.
that was John.
Okay.
John's Pop Warner number. He wore it after
That's
John
right.
in Pop
Left
Warner.
guard.
You were 92 Pop Warner?
72.
72.
72. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I was like, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it really almost just destroyed my love for football right at the ripe old age of 12 years old because Pop Warner sucked. They're like, oh, you're relatively tall? Get ready to play left guard, my friend.
Yeah. Get ready to pull, buddy.
Oh, my God. You just get destroyed by somebody.
Chris,
Yes,
did
man.
you hear my number for the episode?
No.
Michael Strahan, I believe, wore it number 92.
Strahan. Okay, yeah, that's makes more sense. Yeah,
That
I looked
loser now.
How was he a loser?
You remember he was waving the Eagles flag?
Oh,
Yeah.
for
the playoff
oh,
game?
yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was.
I'm
awful.
still mad at him. I have not forgiven him.
I don't blame you.
That's a valid gripe to have with him. I was really mad about that too. I think I was about 72 beers deep on our Vermont trip then, Chris, but I was really – and nobody else besides you – nobody else. We were surrounded by Giants fans who were rooting for the Eagles.
That was
What a
infuriating.
disgusting display.
No, the most
You know,
annoying thing
That's
was
so gross. That is so
Yeah,
gross.
and you know, I want to name drop right now because you're
Yes,
going to be
please do.
disgusted with this, Matt Driscoll. Pete Foreman was rooting for the Eagles on Super Bowl Sunday this year.
Well, you know what? I think the Driscoll family got their payback last night because at pickup basketball, I elbowed him right in the center of the forehead. It was not intentional. He actually tripped into my arm, and he had to sit out for the rest of the game, so I felt pretty bad. It wasn't intentional, but maybe if I knew he was rooting for the Eagles, I would have turned a little bit more,
extra-
you know?
extra
Would have caught him a
sauce.
little bit.
Yeah.
well, all right, Matt. He's my ride to the AC this weekend, so hopefully he doesn't have any type of concussions for anything
It
there.
was my ride too. He's got to pick me up at the bus stop.
All right,
Guys, I got to say, Chris, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
you're totally fine. Keep
I'm
on
very
going.
excited. I think we have some elite shirts on this episode
We
today.
sure do.
Matt was
Yeah.
showing me his.
Yeah.
Celtics playoff
2008.
2008.
This is vintage Celtics. It does say 17-time champion. It was bought by my beautiful girlfriend Olivia. She bought me for Christmas gifts. Yeah, we got two more elite shirts to talk about as well, if I'm mistaken.
I got off the TikTok shop.
That's
Seattle
beautiful.
Supersonics. $7 and free shipping. Can't beat it. Sweet logo. So very excited.
They'll be back
And
soon.
I got the Elaine Bennett shirt, the first funny woman on a sitcom. One of two funny women in. Actually, let's give it one of. Just in case mom's listening, one of four funny women in the world. That's Elaine, Charlotte, Erin, and Mom. So kudos to them. Just going to cover all of the. Oh, should I throw Olivia in there because she's probably.
It wasn't me saying it, so yes. So
The girl
if it was,
watching this
if it was me-
podcast right now.
she actually probably honestly, yeah. Like I don't think you needed to cover Mom and Charlotte, honestly. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the reason that we said Michael Strahan was because there's two other NBA players who were the number 92. I've heard of one of the guys. I haven't heard the other one. Deshaun Stevenson. He played for the Mavs, the Nets, and the Hawks from 2010 to 2013.
He was a
and
legend
then-
on 2K. 11 or
Legend
12.
2K, and the other one is Lucas Nogueira. He played for the Raptors and from 2015 to 18. Let's see how many minutes per game do you play in those games? I can't imagine there's that many, but
I thought he was next up. What was he at? Raptors and what?
just the Raptors from 2015 to 2018. Let's see. So he played 141 games and 12 minutes per game there. I'm sure that it was 2015-18, so I'm sure like half of those points were against the Celtics, if we're being honest. But yeah, we got a great show ahead of us tonight. we have an awesome agenda. So we're covering our current top 10 small forwards. We are covering so current top 10 small forwards. We each have our own criteria for that. I did a poll ahead of time comparing some of the players that are probably going to be close on each other's list. So I'm very excited about that. Then we're going to do an all-time draft, which I'll explain that when we get to it. And then we are going to be doing giving our predictions for who might make their first All-Star game this year. I'm sure I'm not the only one that was probably the least amount of research I did for that part of the segment. So maybe I'm assuming that'll be like a quick last 5-10 minutes, but we'll see. All right. So anyway, so I'll explain the criteria again, like we've been doing the past couple of weeks. So basically so when we're making the lists, it's basically who we'd want on our team to win a championship for this upcoming year. So we are acknowledging the track record and who has played better the past couple of years. But however, if a young player has been progressing, we are going to again, like this is, at least this is what I'm doing, and I'm assuming you guys are doing something similar. We're assuming that like the younger guys are gonna get better as time goes on, and for the older guys, if they've been slipping for a couple of years now, maybe we assume that they're probably out of their prime. Although some of the I'll give a spoiler, some of the picks I picked might imply otherwise. So I think what we'll do. Past like the first week we each went through our lists one at a time, but I think actually we're just gonna this time we're going to do we'll go through like so like Matt McCann will give 10, John will give 10, Matt will give 10, then I give 10, and then we'll go through 9 after that, then Nathan 7, such and such.
Oh, cool.
Did we want to do honorable mentions, or do we want to save that until the end?
I say save it.
Yeah, I think
right?
honorable mentions is a save.
Yeah, we can do that at the end. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but like I'm still like kind of like I have my list written down, so like I'm fully prepared, but like I'm still stuck on like how confident I am at the back end of my list. Yeah. But McCann, why don't you start off with your number 10?
Okay. For my number 10, I have OG Anunoby.
Okay.
I don't know. He doesn't have the volume on the offensive end. He's a phenomenal defender. He's a great weapon for the next team. And I mean, he's a top 10 small forward. It's not like I'm crapping on the guy, but he didn't have that sort of offensive burden that a lot of these other guys have that I have ahead of him. I don't think he's going to make that much of a jump this year. He kind of fills his niche for New York. I don't think he really has to take on any more responsibility. So I think this is a fine spot for him.
Okay. John, why don't you go next?
This was tough for me. I actually put Herb Jones at my 10 spot. I really like. I think I've probably said this about 1,000 times on this podcast. I just really value two-way guys, especially at the forward position, because I think if you are a two-way guy at the forward position, it just speaks more to your versatility. Because I think if you're like a versatile defender at the one guard, it pretty much just means you can guard like 1 through 3. I'm not saying Herb Jones can guard any centers or anything like that, but I just think he's a lot more versatile on the defensive side, and I think his offensive game has improved. So that's why I have him in my number 10 spot.
Awesome. Matt?
My number 10 spot is also OG Anunoby. I mean, Matt touched on a lot of good points with him. He's even though Mikal Bridges guards the best player a lot of the time, like we saw Mikal match up with Tatum a lot, I still feel like OG Anunoby is the best defender on that team. It's probably Mitchell Robinson, but best perimeter defender on that team. But I have him at 10 and not higher in the list because of what he said, the offensive burden. A lot of his points are scored off catch and shoot threes from the corner from a Jaylen Brunson drive. And I do think he's going to have a very solid year. He averaged 18 last year. I think he's going to average a little less this year if barring that Jaylen Brunson and Cat don't get injured this year. Jaylen missed some time, and I believe Cat missed some time last year as well. So, yeah, I think his point total will go down, and that's why he's number 10. But I do think he's a very, very great player. I wish the Celtics had him. One of the elite perimeter defenders in the league today.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with the Mets. Yeah, I also have OG. Like actually have Herb at my number 11 spots. Yeah, I do have OG at 10. You really, yeah, like I wouldn't be. I don't know if John has OG on his list, but like, yeah, I wouldn't be upset. This was like it was literally like neck and neck for like which one I decided. I did end up going with OG, just because like we've seen him do it more in like deeper playoff runs. Herb Jones, however, did anchor like a pretty brutal defense when he was on the Pelicans 2 years ago. Like he didn't really play many games last year. But OG, at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are both abysmal defenders. So the fact that the Knicks were able to have a serviceable, not even serviceable, like have like a pretty solid defense throughout the playoffs, both him and Mikhail did awesome. Obviously, Brunson and Cat like held their own against the Celtics, but obviously they kind of fell apart against the Pacers. But that being said, I do think even though Mikhail like is guarding like oftentimes guarding the best player, it's OG is the one holding on the forts. And again, like this, yeah, like it's depending on how you build your list. I know personally when I'm building my list, it's not a matter of who can best lead a team. It's who can best win in certain spots. And I think that OG is one of the most pluggable role players in the league. So me, Matt, and Matt have OG at 10, and John has Herb Jones at 10. So McCann, who do you have at 9?
9 slot. I have Zachariah Richache. I think he's going to take a huge jump this year. I think at the end of the year when he kind of was able to get that minutes boost, he was able to really kind of show his capability with his off-ball movement, his ability to slash to the rim, but also be able to create space off the ball on the perimeter. I mean, his confidence and his stroke definitely improved as the season went on. I think they're going to rely pretty heavily on him, especially now that they can have him more outside rather than playing like a hybrid like 3-4. They kind of have Porzingis to fill that niche now. So I think he's going to flourish a lot with that. Last year, he averaged 13, 4, and 3. I think given more minutes and more ball touches, I think he can easily get to 19, 20 points a game this year.
Don't hate that one at all. Yeah, he's definitely gonna be an interesting player to watch. Like the sophomore jump, and I feel like he might be. A lot of people are high in the Hawks this year. I feel like he might be an X factor as to how far they can go. John, who do you got at 9?
Well, it's funny. Matt McCann just said Richache. I actually had him at 11. One of my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
But I think we're all pretty locked in step. Maybe as within the 9 to 11 or 12 slot. Because I have OG Anunoby at my 9 spot. Like I mentioned with Herb Jones, just really value versatile defenders. I gained a lot of respect for him in the series that shall not be named with the Knicks Celtics. Not really offensively as much. I think he can be a little streaky at times, but just really impressive. I think we've always known he was great at defense, but to kind of see it in a series, and I know we saw it in a series back in, what was it, 2020, right? In the bubble.
Yeah.
Celtics Raptors
Right.
series. I just, he's not somebody you want essentially to be guarding your best player. And I put some value on that, especially at the small forward position with how many like talented wings there are out there.
Are you talking about the inbound pass that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't in the bubble?
Oh my
That's
God.
right. Yeah. Because let's take 30
Lowry,
minutes to
like,
discuss
8
Nick
steps back.
Nurse's antics that series.
Nick Nurse, what a loser.
Jerk.
What a loser.
Yeah. Matt Driscoll, who do you got number 9?
I just want to touch on what John said at the end about how you don't want OG Anunoby to guard your best player. I totally agree with that. I mean, the league right now, I feel like the wing is the most important position. I feel like that's where the best players are, and to have a guy that could just take one of your best players out of the game is truly important. But saying that, at my 9, I was debating putting OG at my 9 instead of my 10 and putting this guy at my 10, but I put him at my 9. And that's Denny Advia. He was awesome on my fantasy team last year, so it might be a little biased. But since January 1st last year, he averaged 19.8, 8.4 boards, and 5 assists, so 4.5 assists. So, that's a pretty long time, a good stretch of the year, and he's averaging 20 points a game. And granted, the Blazers didn't win a ton, but they over exceeded expectations last year, and I think they're going to be a fun team to watch again. And he'll be did I say Pacers? I meant Blazers. Did I say Blazers?
No, you said honestly.
Oh, all right, my fault. I thought I
You
meant
said
Blazers.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be a main reason why they're solid next year.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Matt. Yeah, I also have Denny Abdi at 9. The Blazers are going to be a very interesting team to say the least. At the end of the day, defense is going to be their identity. I think. I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the three guys they're gonna I think they're focusing now on the franchise they're hoping to be the future is Denny Abdia, Kamara, I think it's Tumani's his first name, and Donovan Clingan. Those will be their three main guys. I'm sure that Drew Holiday is going to be one that's that mentors them a lot. Obviously, Scoot Henderson is still there, but who knows if at the end of the day which one will be which one they're going to focus on. But I feel like Denny Abdia is definitely going to come out as one of the top guys. So what was it? I think I'm losing my train of thought. McCann, who'd you have again? I forgot.
Reese O'Shea.
So McCann had Reese O'Shea, John had OG, and me and Matt both had Denny Abdia. So
It was Matt.
we lost Matt. Okay, so luckily I had him third. So McCann, who do you have at number 8?
Number 8, I got Jimmy Bucket. When he moved to Golden State, I think that he kind of was able to fill more of what his role is now. I think after his Heat days kind of started to fizzle away, the locker room issues obviously played a big role in that. But I think he kind of has realized that he's not the prolific scorer, the tenacious defender that he used to be. He's still phenomenal on defense, don't get me wrong. But I think he just fits this role as kind of a third option for Golden State. He's able to kind of play more of his or put more of his energy towards that defensive end with Draymond alongside of him. So he's able to focus on that more. But you could see his numbers falling. He averaged 18, 6, and 6 last year. He isn't the same player that he was in Miami or even in Philly or Minnesota, but he still is a very reliable option to have, and he is a winner, whether I like to say it or not. But he's my 8.
John?
It's tough here. I feel like I've gone back and forth so many times on where to put this guy. But, at my 8 spot, I have Brandon Ingram. I think with Brandon Ingram, I really love his game. I just think I think you guys can, shout me out if this is wrong. I just think it's a little inconsistent. And to pair that with less playoff consistency, because when you look at the numbers, just stats, it's very impressive what he's done. When he did in New Orleans, and now he's, I just think, me personally, and like you said, Chris, this is kind of an exercise to see who you would kind of want your team in the future if you were to, looking ahead 2-3 years or 3, 4, 5 years instead of just who you pick first, right off the bat. And maybe you guys have him a little higher. But for me, I just think that the pendulum is kind of swinging in the other direction with him. I'm not really sure if he's going to be carrying his team to the playoffs anytime soon, because they didn't really do it much in New Orleans. And when he did, they didn't really make too much noise. But yeah, that's why I have him at number 8.
So John, I'll make you feel a little better. He's my 11.
Okay. All right.
I just share the same sentiment where I think he's just inconsistent at times. Defensively, he isn't as much of a bulwark as some of these other guys. So it's kind of hard for me to think of him as being able to do it on both ends, doing it in a playoff setting. He's kind of more of just one of those volume regular season kind of guys. And as I've watched the league more, there's a lot more of them, and they're just it's just not as impressive to me anymore when I watch that kind of play. But he does have a great game, and I do really like watching him play.
So as you guys know, I do my top 100 every year. And every year there's always one guy that I just completely miss. It's not that I'm disrespecting them by not, it's I'm I completely miss them. And that's because I go through the depth charts on ESPN and sometimes CBS Sports. Then I see this Brandon Ingram was out for the rest of last year. So he was off my list. So when I was looking through last night, when I was putting together my list, I realized that Brandon Ingram wasn't on my top 100 list. I'm crap, he's a top 100 player. So I squeezed it out, and I actually don't. Yeah, I have him I have him in my 13-14 area actually, just because of the injuries and everything. So that's why I do have him a little bit lower. But talent wise, as far as it goes for carrying a bad team, maybe he would be a little bit higher. But yeah, like I agreed with both of you. Yeah, it's the inconsistencies and just like the overall unsureness for how far he could lead a team, which is why that has me a little bit lower. But that being said, I don't blame you at all for having him at the number eight spots. Matt, who do you have? Who do you have at 8?
Before I begin, are my speakers? Do I sound all right?
Yeah.
My speakers were going crazy. That's why I left. That was all right. So number 8, Matt, you actually had his teammate on your list. You might consider him a 4. I wouldn't hate that at all. I have Jaylen Johnson. I looked at 2 or 3 lists before the pod today, and all of them had Jaylen Johnson as a 3, which I was surprised about. So I was like, all right, I'll put him at 3.
Interesting.
That's fair. Yeah, I feel.
Yeah,
like he
I
plays
guess
forward, but,
when
That's fine.
Forward's
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
because
it's fine either way.
don't-
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I'm a huge Jaylen Johnson fan. I think he's a great player. He had made a huge leap last year before his shoulder injury. I think he's going to have a great year. Like you said, Chris, the Hawks are a very interesting team. They have kind of high expectations this year, and he's going to be their second or third best player. So.
Don't hate that pick at all. But you guys are gonna hate my number 8 pick. My number 8 pick is Paul George, actually. I think that's he's a little bit older now. He did have a brutal year last year, but that being said, I do think that it was a less than ideal situation. Obviously, which I'm not saying that this year is going to be ideal by any stretch, because I think that we're going to run into the same issues with Embiid as we did last year. But the only difference is this year, I think they're going to be a little more prepared as to what to do because I don't think they're relying on Embiid to stay healthy. I think they're just using that as a luxury. And yeah, like there were times last year where Paul George had to run the 5, which I'm not saying that's not going to happen this year, but I think it's going to happen less often. But I still think he has the talent. He made the All-Star game in the West 2 years prior to this one. So I still believe in Paul George. I know that I'm in the minority for that, but at his peak, he's debatably at his peak, like he was probably, we would probably put him in the top 5 in this list. So yeah, like I'm willing to bet that Paul George maybe not return to his 2022. I mean, like his 2022 version, but maybe close to like his 2024 version than last year.
Let me just jump in right now and ask the Mats. Do you guys have Paul George on your lists?
No.
Okay. Good, because I feel like I feel like this is such a tough one, especially with small forwards. I just know I'm looking at my list. I just feel like I'm leaving somebody off, and as like you get like lower down in like your ranking, it gets even like worse if you forget, because I'm not trying to put like X player at 3 to like make up for like
the same thing happened last year. What happened last year with me when it was like it was when John was working a lot, so it was just me and Matt's. We were doing our centers lists, and then and we were doing like when like both of us just gave our list one at a time, and then Matt went first, so I'm like, dude, you left someone out. He's like, who? I'm like, dude, you left our Karl-Anthony Towns. He's like, oh crap. So yes, so yeah, like maybe that'll happen this time around, but yeah, you won't be the first one if that does happen. But yeah, like I am convinced that I'm literally the only person in the NBA fan community or TikTok creator community that believes in Paul George, but I'm willing to die on that. Like I've always been a fan of Paul George, even if he's on my least favorite team now.
Willing to die, Chris?
You're willing to die for 47-year-old Paul George?
Dying on a hill. Again, not literally.
Rest in peace, AAH.
I'm not literally willing to die on a hill. No, I'm not. But
I agree. I think he still has a little bit left in the tank. I just don't think. I think offensively he does. I just don't think he's going to be the same player defensively, and that was part of why he was so awesome. Was because he was a good two-way guy next to Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a gripe with what Matt McCann said. On the AH pod, we try not to spread lies, Matt, and you said Jimmy Butler was a winner. He is not a winner. He is, what is it, 36?
He's still waiting for the next one.
I'm gonna hold the next one.
Okay, so McCann had we all different number 8s. Wow. So McCann had Jimmy at number 8. Matt had Jaylen Johnson. John and Brandon Ingram, and I had the glorious Paul George. So McCann, who do you have at number 7?
Number 7, I actually have Herb Jones's teammate, Trey Murphy III, because I consider him a 3. I think he's too big to be a 2. I just that doesn't sit right with me with my 2K brain. If you're 6'7" or above,
I was looking at the depth chart last time. Like, there's no way he's a 2. What? What are we doing here? Like, yeah.
I am obsessed with Trey Murphy III. I think his game is so smooth. He's a flamethrower. He is I mean, obviously he has Herb Jones next to him, but he just like brings energy on defense that like with a lot of these like lankier defenders you don't normally see, i.e. Brandon Ingram, for example. But he just like has it. Like he's smooth. He reminds me of Tatum a little bit. He reminds me of Paul George a little bit. He has like just a very sound offensive game to pair with a good defensive game. His IQ is pretty high for someone that is still very, very young. And I mean, last year he averaged 21, 5, and 4. And I think with more volume as they gain more trust in him, it's just the sky's the limit for him pretty much.
I agree with you. And we can all agree with that just because the one game that the Pelicans, literally everyone on the Pelicans was out except for Trey Murphy and like one other starter, and he just dropped 36 on us. Luckily Tatum saved the day from
Tatum had
the
a commercial like game winner.
The worst. Yeah. Tatum had his classic no, like at the end of the quarter shot, and then it finally went in. So very surprising. But John, who you got?
I'm just going to echo Matt McCann. I have Trey Murphy at my 7 as well.
Nice.
I think that's my first link up of the night. I think echoing everything Matt said. Again, just another two-way wing. I just find so much value in that. I understand that I just said Ingram was at 8 for me, but I just love the two-way wings, and Trey Murphy fills that, and I think he's just been taking gradual steps in his offensive game, which is really fun to watch.
Love that. Matt, who do you got at 7? Please don't say Trey Murphy.
No, Google considers Trey Murphy a small forward, power forward, so I didn't really know where to put him, so I left him off my list, but he would be around this number. But I have Scotty Barnes at 7. I guess he's kind of a 4 too. I don't know. It's tough to rank these guys.
I left him off my list. I actually looked up the percentages, but he did have like a healthy balance between a 3 and a 4. Right. So I just wasn't sure. It's the issue we kind of all run into, but that's why I just left him off my list.
Well, because I was assuming this year the Raptors would be quickly at the 1, RJ at the 2, Ingram at the 3, and Scotty at the 4. So that was the mindset I was running with.
Yeah, you probably.
Scotty was my 4 in fantasy for a lot of the time, so that's
was
why
he?
I did.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I love Scotty Barnes. He's just such a complete player. That's made jumps every year. Elite two-way player. So I'm a big fan of Scotty Barnes. So he's at my 7.
Nice. Okay. And I in my spots, my number 7. Gonna pitch you guys off again. I have Jimmy Butler in my number 7 spots. I think that he turned his season around when he joined Golden State, and really played well next to both Steph and Draymond. Kind of turned their season around, which part of that was their strength of schedule. The other part of it was just you definitely saw like the mood change in the locker room. Actually, I wasn't there for the locker room part of it, but like that's what everyone was saying. At the end of the day, like in a big playoff game, I'd rather have Jimmy over a lot of the guys that we mentioned earlier, as the first or second option. And I also think that like in a way he's still pluggable than all those guys. Guys, this is my show. Please stop laughing at me.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing at Matt laughing at you.
Yes.
No, I'm just laughing at how much we hate Paul George and Jimmy Butler. Don't get mad at me, guys.
I will say,
we love Paul George.
Paul George is like
both of those are great takes.
I love Paul George compared to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Hate's a strong word. I meant his game. I mean, like how much he played last year and stuff like that.
Strong disdain.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming that we all have the same top 6 players. I could be wrong though. But I'd be surprised actually if we didn't have the same number 6 actually across the line. But we'll still go one at a time just in case. Matt, for review, John and Matt McCann had Trey Murphy at 7. Matt had Scotty Barnes, and I had Jimmy Butler. So McCann, who do you have at number 6?
I have Franz Wagner. Another one of those players he's still super young. He's trying to figure it out on the defensive end, not nearly as impactful as someone like Trey Murphy or obviously like an OG. But I mean, his offensive game is very like complete. He's got a lot. He's stat sheet stuffer. He was on my fantasy team last year, so I loved him for that. He's he's a good player. He plays the game. He knows how to like use his body in like really unique ways, draw fouls, which is great for a young player. I think with the addition of Desmond Bain, he's going to be able to kind of get to the rim a lot more, which will help open his game up a lot more. Just because you have actual shooting on the outside, he was just a great player last year, and I think he's going to take another jump.
Perfect. John?
This 4 through 6. No, I would actually say this 5-6 is like a tough spot for me, but I have J-Dub here.
Okay.
I know I've been kind of touting two-way players, and J-Dub is young, and he's a two-way player. I guess I'm just kind of impacted sometimes by the way the media overrates him and kind of tries to tout him a little bit. That's why I have him at 6. I think he had some like outrageous playoff games. I think what did he have like? He had like a 40 piece in the finals, or I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But it was the finals, right? I wasn't sure if it was the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, it was the finals. Yeah.
But then he'll have like generational stinkers, and I think that's just like what you get with a volume scorer at a young age. Like we've seen Tatum, Brown, like those guys. It's just what you get out of those like young, up and coming stars, right? So again, me having him at 6 is no disrespect. I love J-Dub, but I think maybe a year or two before I can put him into my top 5. Maybe, I would say a year after I put him in my top 5, given the age range of the people in my top 5.
Right. Matt?
This is tough. I'm between two guys. And because it's a I don't want to like overrate that it's a projection for next year and just take the younger guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my original list. I have Kawhi Leonard at 6 actually. He had an elite year last year, an elite playoff run. But I just think Franz Wagner. I think the Clippers are going to be good, but I think the Magic might go further in the playoffs. They both averaged 25. Franz actually averaged 26 in the playoffs last year. And you guys mentioned like his defensive woes. I thought he was a pretty solid defender last year. Maybe it's because the Magic were an elite defense. He kind of was able to hide out, but I thought he did a good job on in the Boston series. I thought he did a good job during the regular season from what I saw. So I have Kawhi at my 6.
Yeah, Kawhi's a tough guy to rank for sure. But I have Franz in my 6 as well. Matt McCann. I'm a little bit lower on Matt McCann. I'm not lower on Matt McCann. I'm a little lower on Franz Wagner the most. I feel like he really didn't play that well against the Celtics. I feel like he's a little more reliant on his offensive game. I feel like he's better at playmaking than Paolo. So I feel like that gets hyped up a little bit. So as far as goes for who's more valuable, like of course Paolo and Franz are dealing with what Jaylen and Jason were dealing with in the beginning of their careers, as far as of like, oh, they can't play off each other. And I feel like their criticism is a little more valid than the Jays were, because the Jays were significantly better than them on defense. And I also feel like both, maybe not Jaylen, but I feel like Tatum was a much better playmaker than both of them. So, yeah, like I don't know about Franz. Yeah, like I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look up a little more about his defense. But yeah, I have him at my number 6 slot pretty solidly. So McCann and I both have him at 6. McCann and I both have Franz at 6. Matt has Kawhi Leonard, and John has Jalen Williams. McCann, who do you have at 5?
So I was actually the exact same struggle as Matt here. I was just between the 5 and 6 spot with Franz and Kawhi, and I ended up Kawhi being the 5, just because, I mean, when he's healthy, he is without a doubt a top 3 small forward. It's just the health really. It's really tough, and you really root for him to try and get a little bit better with just those knees are just a killer. Like you got to be on the court, and you could kind of see more this year. I mean, when he first came back and was on fresh legs, he was, I mean, Chris, you had him as an MVP candidate around Christmas time. I mean, he was unbelievable. And then kind of as the season went on, you could see the wear that kind of had on his legs. His numbers dropped a little bit. He ended up finishing the year 22, 6 and 3 roughly. But that's not a testament to what he actually was producing, especially when he was first starting. They kind of leaned back on the minutes and stuff once they realized that they weren't really in playoff contention. But I think when healthy, he's a top 3. I still have so much respect for him on both ends of the court. Even though he's dealing with all these injuries, he still like brings it out like a lot on both ends, which I mean, to be honest, at this age and with the injury history, he doesn't have to be doing this on defense. You see a lot of older players kind of pull back the reins when they get to this age on the defensive end, but he still brings it. So got a lot of respect for Kawhi. I think he's an efficient scorer and he does everything right. I hope he's more healthy this year.
Couldn't agree more. John?
Yeah, I'd actually like to confirm my comment from earlier that, and I think this is kind of the sentiment on the panel, the 4 through 6, I think we're all going to be kind of in line with, maybe just at different slots. I have Franz at my 5. I think up until the Celtics series this year, it was a lot of box score watching from my end, or just watching him when they played the Celtics, or when they were on TNT. But that Celtics series this year really solidified the impact that he has. I think he was a lot better of a defender than I was led to believe, and the offensive game is very impressive. But the reason why I don't have him in my top 4 is actually. I'll walk back that comment actually, because I think with him, he leans on Paolo in a way. He's not a solidified number 1 option. Arguably one of the guys in my top 3 lean on his number 1 option sometimes. But for me, just young player, definitely the reason why he falls out of my top 4 is because he's not as strong of a defender, I would say. And young, but that's no disrespect to him. I just think he's young, growing. I think he can move his way up on this list in a little bit. But I have Franz at my 5.
Yeah,
Awesome.
John, I have the same thing. I have Franz as well. Like Matt, I had a struggle picking Kawhi or Franz, and I picked the younger guy. I think he's a solid defender. I don't know if I'm totally wrong. If I'm,
I think he's I think he's average. This is strictly not even basketball watching. It's literally calculating things. Defensive LeBron, he's at a C-. So that's average. It's so he's which I'm sure the eye test is better than he says he is. And probably better than what Gilbert Arena says he is. I don't even know what Gilbert Arenas' opinion is on him, but I'm assuming it's bad. But
I don't know if it's just like a false perception, but I don't know. I feel like, and this is such a flawed way to judge a defender, but last possession of a game, man on man, LeBron is the person I would rather than Franz. And again, extremely flawed way to judge a defender. Mm-hmm. But I think Pete Foreman actually told me this a couple of years ago. It says when LeBron tries, he's a good defender, and I was just like, that's so stupid, But sometimes that's where my brain almost goes,
Yeah, well, you can also give credit to that to the producer of the show at Sports Flow, and we've gone into heated arguments about this before. It was actually when he was talking about LeBron. He's like, when LeBron tries, he's better than Tatum. I'm like, okay, yeah, but he doesn't always try. So so let's throw that out.
He should be trying. That's his job.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's kind of the same issue with my eye test with Franz is that he doesn't bring a certain tenacity like you expect with some of these other guys. There's never points during a basketball game where I'm like, whoa, Franz is really overwhelming this ball handler right now. He's really really cutting into that passing lane right now. I just never really see that. And maybe I'm just not noticing it as much as I do with some of the other guys. Maybe I just don't watch enough of him, but I feel like he just doesn't, he's good, but he doesn't push it to that extra level like a lot of these other two-way guys do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my number 5 spot, I have Jaylen Williams as well. Actually, no one has him at number 5, but he's my number 5. He's going to be a very interesting player to look at for the next couple of years. Obviously, he was just the number 2 player on a championship team. I personally think that Chet's going to take that jump this year and make J-Dub the third best player. He's just the perfect complementary piece. I don't know how good he'd be as the first option. I'm sure he'd be fine on most teams. But he's got a bright future ahead of him. And I was listening to Jason Timpf the other day. And he was basically just saying that I think he had him like a spot ahead of Jaylen. So like his wrist is what hurt him a lot last year. Like he was at, like his first 2 seasons he was at a over 60% true shooting, but last year he like dipped to like 57. So he has like a full off season. So I'm interested to see how great he is on offense next year, because obviously we already know how great he is in defense. So I'm interested to see how that changes next year, especially coming off a title run. So John and Matt had Franz at 5. McCann had Kawhi at 5, and I had J-Dub at 5. So McCann, who do you have at 4?
So that just leads in perfectly. I have J-Dub at 4. All the things that you said, and John, you said as well. He's a young, great 2A player who has shown signs of being an elite, prolific scorer, along with also he's so, as I was saying earlier, just tenacious on defense. He brings it all the time, and maybe that's the youth. I think his off-ball movement is some of the best in the entire league right now, especially when you have people like Isaiah Hartenstein, even like Caruso sometimes, Shea obviously, who are able to locate him and get him the ball and like perfectly timed on those cuts. That's pretty much how he scored 40 in the finals, is with a lot of just perfectly timed cuts, which you haven't really seen since you see it all the time, but at that volume, you haven't really seen since like a Miami Heat LeBron almost. Right. He's able to use his athleticism in great ways. I think the one gripe that I have had with him since he entered the league is his shot selection at times. I think sometimes he might settle a little bit for like I'm going to jump over you mid-range, or I'm going to take this contested 3, even though there's an extra pass that I could be making. But I think this playoff run kind of showed like he's refining that a little bit. And I think next year he'll take even more of a jump just with time. I mean, you saw with the Jays, especially Tatum, getting that playmaking jump like completely opened up his game. And I don't think J-Dub is going to reach like Tatum heights. I don't think he's ever going to be like top 5 in the league, but I think that he definitely has a bright future, and I think this is going to be a great year for him, like everyone else is saying.
Matt?
Yeah, I totally agree.
We went the wrong way, but yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I mean, it works out this way because I also have Jaylen Williams. I was, 4 through 6 was tough. I would say really 5 and 6 were tough for me deciding between, and I'm very confident in my 3 and 4, but it was like a discussion between them. I have Jaylen Williams as well. Like everything Matt said, scoring 40 in a finals game at such a young age is super impressive. And I mean, the Thunder are the repeat favorites to win again. So for the right reasons, I have Jaylen Williams at 4.
Perfect. And John?
Yeah, for me, I think it just kind of rounds out our 4 through 6 agreement but disagreement. I have Kawhi Leonard here. I think I bit into the
old heads.
All-American. I think I bit into the All-American Hooper Kawhi Leonard apple a little too much, But at the end of the day, when you compare Kawhi, in my opinion, to Franz or J-Dub, I put him a little bit ahead of them just because, A, much better two-way player than Franz, and B, can be the number 1 option on a team. Now, agreed that argument is relatively flawed because it's different situations. Kawhi really hasn't had like tremendous playoff success in a while. But for me, if I'm going into a must-win game with Kawhi healthy, that's another piece of this that kind of throws a wrench into me having Kawhi at 4, is that with Kawhi, health is always a concern, right? I think we got like relatively healthy Kawhi last year in kind of a vacuum, right? But I also think like as like to contradict my argument in a way, just to look at it from like the other side, we give guys like Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard a lot of leeway when it comes to playoff success. You know, guys like Tatum and even like SGA, you know, people are, and even like Embiid, people like that, like a lot of criticism goes their way because they don't succeed in the playoffs. And, you know, there are kind of these old head guys like Kawhi and Kevin Durant who haven't really had that success recently. But for me, I think it still stands that if I'm going into a must-win game, I'd probably prefer Kawhi Leonard over the two I picked prior to him.
You guys talked about how you guys made that assumption 4 through 6. Oh, like, we agree on this and everything. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to break at that party. Because I do have Jaylen Brown at number 4.
No.
Yes. So
that is so woke.
I apologize, but issue is
AAW.
The thing is with Jaylen Brown, obviously we all love him. He's Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. We love all that. If you're building a team as the number one option, you know that you can do something with KD, LeBron, and Kawhi. I think we can do something with Jaylen. The thing, but like I think there is a clear gap between KD, LeBron, and Kawhi, all of them healthy. Like Jaylen's on like another tier below those guys, and I don't think it's even close. And I understand all three of those guys have their injury issues. So does Jaylen Brown. He literally just tore his meniscus and he had surgery for it. So if I'm building a team this year, I would rather have Kevin
played through it.
Look, he did play through it for sure. Absolutely.
He didn't play well through it, but he played through it.
True.
He had 2 game losing turnovers.
Brutal.
He had 1 turnover that tore Tatum's Achilles.
No. Stop. So he's my number 4. I understand why you want to. Well, the other guys have their injury history, but Jaylen has his now, and he's a clear tier below. If we're ranking these guys healthy, he's a clear tier below the 3 guys who we all have in a different order, I'm sure. So Matt have J-Dub at 4, John has Kawhi, and I have Jaylen Brown. So McCann, who do you have at 3?
Okay, before I say that, I just want to mention I haven't been on the pod since the Tatum injury. I just want to say I was watching that play in a hotel bar in Toronto, surrounded by people screaming about the Oilers game. I think it was a bad time to be me, but
we should actually talk about were Matt and Chris, were you guys together during that?
Yes,
I was watching that game on the big screen in my living room, and Celtics went down like 7 or something like that with 3 minutes to go. So I turned it off in my living room, got into bed, turned it on in my bedroom TV to like change the vibes. And the vibes were changed. I mean, credit to me.
Just in the wrong direction.
They did change.
Oh my God.
And I laid in that position in my bed for about 4 hours. And I didn't turn the TV off. I just sat there. It was the worst thing ever. Sorry to trauma dump on everyone here, but
that's okay.
Dude, he was hooping that night. Oh my God. Anyways,
dude,
let's bring up the mood a little bit. At my 3 slot, I do have LeBron, and I think this was easily the toughest decision for me between the two, between my 3 and my 2. LeBron, I think he's going to be the same player that he was last year. I think he's found a way. Obviously, each year he kind of takes a little bit of a step back, especially on the defensive end. But I think he's still going to be able to create. He's still going to be able to push the floor, get to the rim, draw fouls. He's shooting pretty much the best that he's shot in his entire career the past couple of years. Last year he had 24, 8, and 8. And then with Luka, he had 24, 8, and 6. So obviously that trade didn't do anything to his volume or his efficiency. If anything, it's going to help him with the offensive load. I don't know how the Lakers are going to be defensively again, because the absence of AD really took you noticed as soon as AD left. But
I was
Either way.
gaslit into like I was gaslit. They're like, oh no, the Lakers are actually good in defense. Like look
No,
look how good the defensive rating. I'm
We
like,
were
first of all,
correct.
it's a 10-game sample size. Second of all, the offenses they're playing are ass. Like they were a bad defensive
we were
team.
on the right side of that.
Yeah, we were on the right side, but like for a little bit, I said okay, maybe. But then like finally, when Ants and Rudy Gobert, yes, I'm including Rudy Gobert in that sentiment because he dropped 27 and 25 on their ass. It ended up being we were proven right, and I'm so happy we were.
But yeah, I mean, King James is going to be King James. He's 58 years old. I don't think he'll retire until his AARP kicks in. So until then, he is a top 3 small forward in the league.
John?
Matt Driscoll, you go.
All right. At number 3, I have Jaylen Brown. My debate, like I said earlier, was really between if I was going to put Jaylen Brown at 3 or 4. There was an argument for 2, but I slotted him at 3. Last year, his scoring numbers were down like a good amount, and granted, I know that's because he was a better playmaker. I think last year was one of the better of his career, if not the best. I might put 2023 and 2024 above it. Elite two-way guy. I could talk about Jaylen Brown for hours if we had to, but nothing that hasn't already been said on this pod. So I have him at number 3.
I have LeBron James at my 3. I think it's funny because I think I flipped 1 and 3 more than I did 2 and 3. You know, it's weird to say because I think LeBron and KD they're so similar and different in like the same breath. It's like weird to describe. They both have such a strong impact on a game. Like I think if you look at my top 3 right now, which I think everyone can guess right now, KD, Brown, LeBron, they're all very different, but KD and LeBron kind of stick out to me in a way where older guys, significant impact on a game, obviously have been the number one options for their entire careers. But like I mentioned earlier, like with similar to KD, and this hasn't really impacted him as much in my rankings as it does LeBron, like outside of the 2020 bubble ring, significantly less playoff impact as a Jaylen Brown, right? Or significantly less playoff winning as a Jaylen Brown, I would say. And like Matt McCann said, it's he's going to be playing for a while, but you don't really see the mid 2010s LeBron running through a conference as you used to. So that's why I have LeBron at my 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I actually voted on All American Hoopers poll on Instagram completely opposite of that. So that just shows how much my opinion changes on this ranking.
It's super tough for sure, especially when you get to the top 3. But my number 3, I do have Kawhi Leonard. When healthy, he is without a doubt top 3 on this list. You can debate that he's number 1 on some nights. But if you want to move him outside of your top 5, like Matt Driscoll did, I have zero issue with that. But it's just super tough way to put him. Again, peak top 5 player in the league. But if you want to factor in injuries, you can maybe put him in like the top 15 instead. But zero issue the way. But at the end of the day, LeBron and KD and Kawhi, talent wise, they're on their own level, and then there's a big dip after that. So that's why I do him at the number 3. So I have Kawhi 3, John and McCann have LeBron at 3, and Matt has Jaylen Brown at 3. So McCann, who do you have at 2? I'm assuming, so we know who it is. But
at 2, I have Jaylen Brown. So we have the same top 3, John. Jaylen Brown last year averaged 22, 6, and 5. As Matt said, it was kind of a down year scoring, but those assist numbers went up. Without Tatum, his scoring and assists both went up another point and another assist. So he was averaging 23, 6, and 6. That was in 8 games. Small sample size. I think, honestly, it's a detriment that it's such a small sample size because this year, without Tatum, Joe being able to kind of write a full game plan for the season, being able to wrap it around Jaylen, Derek, obviously Peyton is going to be starting. They're going to have good guys off the bench, a lot less center play. I think that Jaylen Brown is going to be able to take another step, especially in the scoring category. I think the reason that I ended up choosing Jaylen over LeBron is a mix of the absence of Tatum, and I think that LeBron is going to take a smaller step down as well. So it's just kind of those two paths crossing. But at this point, it really is splitting hairs. They're all just ridiculously talented. They can all take over a game whenever they please. I think Jaylen will have a good year. I think he's going to be all NBA second team, maybe all NBA first team, depending on how his scoring volume is. Second team probably seems his peak. But I genuinely do think that he's going to help them win some games this year, even if it's not many.
Yeah, John, as you kind of exposed in your preview showing, you have Jaylen at 2. We want to add anything else?
Not really. I just think I think my list kind of jumps back and forth from young to old, and the value I put on it. So it's definitely a little flawed, but I think that was with the idea of who's really a small forward and putting value on young versus old players. I think this kind of created the perfect storm of us, because I think this might be the first draft, or I guess list ranking, that we all are kind of a little bit more all over the place, which is great. But I think with small forwards, it kind of creates the perfect storm of, trying to decide who's in your top 10, top 5, top 3. But with Jaylen Brown, I just think the counting numbers this year are going to jump, in my opinion. Percentage wise or efficiency wise, they might take a little bit of a dip, but from my perspective, I think you have to put value on the fact that he's Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP. And I always think about and we've discussed this, we've objectively, we've never said Jaylen Brown didn't deserve Finals MVP, but we also have said that Jason Tatum probably deserved it, right? But I think you really need to put value on the fact that Jaylen Brown stepped up in that final series specifically and took on who was arguably, in Luka Doncic, top 3 offensive player in the league. And from my perspective, I just think it's hard to show that value on a box score, because I think Luka still had a good statistics series in a way. But Jaylen Brown sacrificed a lot of his offensive output to spearhead that defensive lead against Luka. And I think as great as LeBron and KD are, and I obviously have KD ahead of them, I don't think I see them doing that, especially at this point in their career.
Sure. So, so Matt's, McCann, and John have Jaylen 2 and KD 1. So Matt and I, so spoiler, Matt and I both have KD and LeBron 1 and 2 mix. Matt, you want to expose who you want to say who you have 1, who you have 2?
Me?
Yes.
No, McCann. Sorry. I was.
Matt McCann has Jaylen and 2, KD at 1. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't thinking. Number 2, I have LeBron James, top 6 in MVP voting last year. Like Matt said, he found the fountain of youth, and he's just an elite player every single year. I have LeBron at 2.
Yeah, I also have LeBron at 2, and KD at 1. I went back and forth for a little bit, but I did go with KD at the end of it, just because I feel like he's been better on a per-game basis lately, especially when it goes to scoring. And I also think he's the better defender as well. Obviously, if making LeBron clears him in, so I'm really fine with either one. But yeah, it's I was surprised. Yeah, all of us have KD over LeBron. I was kind of I'm interested to see that, but. Yeah, before we move on, I'm just going to read off the results of the polls that I released on Instagram earlier. So, so KD versus LeBron, it came out to 19-14 in KD's favor. I think that was the closest one. Kawhi versus KD, it came out to 23-6 in KD's favor, so that one wasn't even close. And same thing for that's interesting. So LeBron versus Kawhi was 26-5. So even though LeBron had more votes against Kawhi for KD, he still lost to KD. So interesting perspective there. I don't know what some people's mindsets were with that, but
LeBron
and
lovers,
next, Drew Fitzpatrick. I know you're probably not watching now, but we're calling you out for sliding into my DMs, calling me out, saying that my followers don't know ball. Screw you. If you're going to question this podcast, go ahead. You're not going to question my followers, though. They're a bunch of great people, ball knowers. Jaylen Brown won 24-6 because they know ball. Yes. So
remind me of who he had a gripe with.
The fact that Jaylen was at a J-Dub.
Oh.
Yeah, so which I get recency bias, and like he's younger, so you're gonna project him more, and I don't know if he's concerned with I think I'm probably the most concerned with the Jaylen injury out of all of us, but I don't know how much that'll be down how much it will be down the stretch. But next one, Jimmy Butler versus Paul George. I don't think many people really cared about this one, but Jimmy 26 to Paul George 5. That's a bigger gap than I thought.
I
would like to just shout out really quick, extremely based by Matt Driscoll and I for leaving Jimmy Butler off our lists.
Yeah, wake up at 5 a.m. Denver run from the grind. Jimmy Butler is not a top 10 small forward. I can't believe he was.
He might be a top 10 Domino's player.
I've been turning off my camera and my mic because I've been vomiting in the trash can below me because Matt McCann called Jimmy Butler a winner on this podcast. It's truly despicable.
I was really surprised at how big the gap was here. Franz Wagner 24-5 against Denny Avdia. I think Franz is better, but I don't think it's as clear cut as people are saying. Like maybe they just don't see the vision for Denny. But I don't know. But I am gonna have to become a Jaylen, Denny Avdia hater this year, unfortunately, because Jalen Carter said that he was better than Jason Tatum. So nothing personal, Denny Avdia, but
not better than Paulo though.
He's not. Yeah, I was furious at that. Yes, I will be clipping this, by the way, and sending it in the NBA Max group chat just so he knows how we really feel. But cool. So I can't believe we already went past the hour with only one segment. So but that's great. We love our yapping sesh. But we still got a draft to do, and we're very excited about that. So okay, are you not so excited? Or you were about that?
No, I'm doing my prep, and I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't.
Okay.
Think I'm do well.
Yes.
Yeah. No. It's so many options.
Yes, it is. And I'm happy
so
that
excited for this.
I'm so excited too because I'm really excited that Matt McCann came on because it makes things more complex. So it's because really when you draft a player, so first of all, let me give the rules. So we're basically just doing an all-time draft, but there's a couple catches. So first off, we're drafting not just a player, but a player's year. So for example, if I had the first overall pick and I drafted 2013 LeBron, John, Matt, and Matt, they couldn't draft any version of LeBron after that. However, in my case, if I were to draft 2013 LeBron, I couldn't draft any player from the 2010, so I couldn't draft 2016 Steph. However, if I wanted to, I could draft 2021 Steph. So basically, you can only draft certain players that played in that year. You're allowed to draft players that played in that decade, just not in that specific year. Does that make sense? To the audience can really say what
So you pretty much have you have a starting five, and you have to have one from each era.
Decade specifically, yes. And there are more than 5 decades. I could only assume that most of us are going to pick from the 80s to the 2020s. You were more than welcome to draft 60s and 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s if you want. I can't imagine we'll be doing many 40s and
40s.
Jumping Joe Fultz is on my big board.
First overall pick.
He's on my big board.
Max Zavlosky are on the board. You guys can take him if you want. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. Okay. So do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Okay.
What's the draft order?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be as non-corrupt as a commissioner as I can with facilitating the draft, but we'll see. Give me 1 second.
Decorate.
Like we always do. The first overall pick, unfortunately, whoever has it, will go to So it's gonna be John or me? It's gonna be John. Okay, so John has the first overall pick.
Damn it.
The next pick,
I think I'll be
We'll go
unhappy
to-
with any
So
pick I
hard.
get.
honestly, is it gonna be Matt Driscoll or Matt McCann? Let's see. Is it gonna stop? Stops. Matt Driscoll gets the second pick, and the third pick will go to. Looked like it's gonna go to me. So Matt McCann has the turnaround at the 4. You son of a bitch,
go.
Matt.
The best. It's the best.
Yes,
fifth
that is easily the best pick to have. So welcome to the show. Okay, so shouldn't say welcome to the show. You've been here before, but okay. So John has the first pick. Don't mean to rush you, John, but you can go whenever.
Yeah, I'll take 90s Jordan.
Okay. Do you want me to pick a specific year, or do you have a specific year in your mind? Just go 91 or 93. Yeah, whichever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you 93
Yeah.
Jordan because that was
You gotta
his
get that.
best finals year. 93 Jordan was the best finals, but 91's probably best start to finish.
All right. The reason I was pumped to get the number 2 pick is solely because of this pick right here, because I didn't want to decide between Jordan or LeBron. Now my rest of the draft is going to be so hard. I'm going to take 2013 LeBron.
Okay. Okay, so I'll do my cross-offs in a second, but so John took Jordan, so both 80s Jordan and 90s Jordan are off the board. Matt took LeBron, so 09 LeBron, 13 LeBron, and 2020 LeBron all off the board. So now I have my pick now. I picked him first in our offensive draft, and I think I'm also going to pick him first in this draft too. I don't know which year I'm going to go with though. I think just so I can avoid having to. Damn it. Just to make things fun, I usually always draft 2016 Steph Curry here. I'm not going to do 2016 Steph Curry. I'm going to do 2021 Steph Curry, actually.
Oh,
I feel like I'm going to regret that down the line, but we'll see.
I get the strategy though, because there's better players in the 2010s, in my opinion.
There's more better players, just because like
That's what I mean, the number.
We have like a whole half a decade for the 2020s, so to go by. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I do have a player in mind for my second pick, but like Matt, we'll see if Matt takes any of those guys with his next pick.
Okay, so first things first, I'm glad this guy fell. I was shocked, honestly, with this podcast. I'm taking 84 Bird.
Okay.
Nice, based.
I mean, he really has better counting stats than 85, but in the playoffs, he was 27.5, 11 and 6 on 50, 40, 90. He was ridiculous. All right, now who do I want with my second one? I think to pair, this is tough. I think to pair with Bird's offensive ability, I'm going to take 72 Kareem with his defensive ability. He won the title in 71, but in 72, he averaged 35 and 17. I mean, that's the best center of all time. Like, there's nothing you could do.
Not even close.
And that was like peak of his athleticism. If there were counting stats for blocks and steals, it probably would have been.
That was his
stocks.
Third season, by the way.
It's just ridiculous.
Yes, sports. I'm going to get second shout out, but this one's more in a more positive light. So he always says that MJ is the GOAT of the NBA, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the GOAT of basketball if you include high school and college. And it shows because of how dominant he was in the beginning of his NBA career as well. So both 70s Kareem and 80s Kareem is gone just from that. So I'm happy this guy fell to me. It's actually I think you guys are going to be surprised based on who I pick. But I'm actually going to go with 1987 Magic Johnson.
Ooh,
it is. Yeah. So I am good. Yeah. So he is technically. So so both 80s Magic and like if you wanted to draft early 90s Magic, that would have been an option too. But not only am I taking 2 point guards off the board, I'm either going to put Magic at my 3 or my 4. And I just think that given that Magic is probably the best transition player of all time, besides maybe LeBron, just having Steph Curry as the guy to either kick a 2 or do like a behind the back bounce pass 2. The 2 of them are going to be unstoppable together.
So that leaves me, right?
Yep.
Damn it. This draft is so hard.
Isn't it?
Because it's like you don't just
3
draft the
things you have
best.
to think about.
You don't just draft who's the best available. You got to like think about year and who else
Exactly.
who's gonna.
Yep.
Who you want to leave on the board.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And do you have to draft somebody from each era?
No, because like technically there's more than 5
like
eras.
6
Like
or
there's the
7 eras.
2020s, 2010s, 2000s, 1990s, 1980s, and then the 70s, 60s, 50s. But like if you want to go that far back, like Matt already did when he drafted Kareem, you can do whatever you want really.
I'm
He's the
very
only
upset.
good 70s. So
I'm very
Anyway, sure.
upset that Matt took Kareem and Bird because I was like, maybe one of them will fall to me, and you took them immediately.
So that's another question I have. Matt McCann took 84 Bird. 86 Bird is off the table, right? Because that's in the
correct.
same-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Magic was
all
also
birds are
on.
off the-
Magic was also on your board, Matt. Too,
Yeah,
too,
and you
Matt.
took Curry, and I was like, all right, fine. Like, I'll get one of them. It's just ridiculous. Oh my God, this is so hard. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec.
It's okay. Take your time.
I think because of. You know what? I'm going to take 2006 Kobe Bryant at my 2.
It's a good pick. Fell all the
Yeah,
way down to like 15 in the last draft, but now he's
It's just because I have a
It's two-way ability
strategy. I
too,
don't know
so
if it'll work out.
yeah, it's tough to strategize, but yeah. All right, John
Okay.
has the pick in the turnarounds.
I'm going to take 2015, 2016 Curry. And then I'm
Nope, you can't take Curry.
Chris took him.
I took him in 2021.
Oh, I thought we could take it from each era.
No,
No, but if a player gets taken, it's the player no matter what.
Interesting. Okay. In that case, I am going to take 20. I'm going to take 2014 Kevin Durant.
Okay.
And I'm going to pair him with 2004 Kevin Garnett.
Two awesome picks.
The Kevins.
Two Kevins,
Two
yeah.
Kevins.
Two
It's
6'11"
back to
Kevins.
me.
Yep.
All right, I am going to take 2023 Nikola Jokic.
Ah,
23
Actually,
over 22.
fuck. Sorry. Can I?
I'm gonna allow it.
Sure.
And I'm
I'm
only
going to
allowing it
take-
just. I'm only allowing it just because I have 2 guys that I'm interested in the board. So go ahead. So,
Okay, I'm gonna take 90s Hakeem at my center. 94.
94 Hakeem probably, right?
Yeah.
94 Hakeem.
Good.
Okay, so let's see, 90. So, so yeah, I'm gonna go with my 2000s pick now, and I'm going to pick up Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 2. So I think what I'm gonna try and do is, just because I have so much passing, I think I'm just gonna keep it going, and I'm just gonna take 0-3 Tim Duncan
Nice.
and just run a prolific offense.
Okay.
And defense.
And the defense is ridiculous as well, I guess. The issue is there's no one really left for who I wanted in like the 2010s. But can you play guys like, I'm not going to say out of position, but like,
Yes.
can you play guys where like they can fit elsewhere?
I mean, I drafted 2 point guards, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put Larry as my point forward,
Oh. Okay.
and
You're really
I'm
doing that.
gonna
Okay.
put- and I'm going to put Giannis at the 3. 2020.
Wow. Which 2021 or 22?
2020. Like
2020. Okay.
2020.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So MVP was his depoy year, 30, 14, and 6. He was ridiculous.
That's
Before
why
the
I
bubble
changed.
shut him down.
That's why I changed Jokic for Hakeem, so I could take Giannis on the turnaround. Damn it!
Hmm.
My team is huge. My shortest guy right now is 6'10".
It's so ridiculous. God damn it, Matt. Oh,
So yeah, I'm gonna go with my 2010s guy here. I'm debating between 2 guys. Because if there's one thing I need in my team, it's perimeter defense. So I'm gonna go with the guy that's a slightly better shooter, and I'm gonna go with, depending on which year. I'm gonna go with when he was at his best. I'm gonna go 2017 Kawhi. I was thinking about 2019 Kawhi, but 17 Kawhi was really when he was at his best. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2017.
When I was doing the Kawhi, I was between 16 and 17.
Really, yeah,
16,
that makes sense.
he won-
Yeah, he
he
won
won
second place
Depoy
in
and, like,
MVP
he
in
was-
that year. Yeah.
Yeah, 67 and 15.
Yeah.
all right. I am going to go with 2025 Jason Tatum at my power forward.
I was between him and Giannis for the 3.
Yeah, good call with Giannis.
All right, John has his last 2 picks here.
Again, I feel like I've asked this before, but do you need to have somebody from each era or each section?
Let's see.
It's
So
all
you
to be
have so you have someone from the 90s, someone from the 2010s, and someone from the 2000s.
Yeah.
So your options are 2020s, 1980s, 1970s, and below and earlier. So no, you don't have to. You don't have, like, yeah. So like there's more than a couple options. You don't have to use every single one, depending on which one you want.
Okay. I am going to. I'm going to take 63 Bill Russell.
Beast.
And to round out my 2020s, I'm going to take 25 Shea.
It's a perfect fit for your team.
All right, I'm between 2 guys. I have somebody I could pick from the 60s and someone I can pick from the 80s for my number 1, my point guard. Just give me 1 sec, sorry. I'm trying to think here. Then I don't know who's better out of these 2. I'm going to go with 1969 Jerry West.
I think he's better. I think he's better than Oscar Robertson,
Oh,
personally.
What do you think
that's
about
killer.
Isaiah Thomas, Chris? Is Jerry West better?
I think that West and Oscar are clearly better than Isaiah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. Yeah.
I'm not good with the 60s guys. So, but I know Jerry West's counting stats are ridiculous. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm
like
on West.
for context, I have both West and Oscar just outside the top 15, but solidly in the top 20. I think I might have West at 15 on the dot. Actually, could be wrong though. And then I have Isaiah in my late 20s, could be early 30s at this point, but I'm not sure. Yeah. So for my team rounding out, I am probably going to go with the 90s guy. I'm just deciding on how I want to approach it because I have shooting, I have perimeter defense, but like based on who I pick, it is going to be one of the based on one of those things. You know, just so I can double down on the perimeter defense. And shooting isn't really that much of a concern when I have Steph and Kawhi.
Yeah.
So I am going to go with 1994 Scottie Pippen.
That's defense.
Cheers.
All right. So moving Bird to like a offensive engine kind of frees up space. I need a shooter, like bad. But I don't want to just take a guy that can just shoot. The defense is already covered, so I don't really have to worry about that. But I'm going to take a guy that can play on the ball too, just because I don't really have a true point guard. I mean, you could honestly put him at point guard, but this year that I'm taking of him, he is a shooting guard. It's 2018 James Harden.
Nice.
I was going to pick 2019, but I don't like guys that are ball hogs. And I think 2018 he was a little bit more well-rounded.
We played a little off ball for CP3.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it is good that you had like a Bird can obviously he can run the point forward, but it's good that you have like a guy that can run the run.
A secondary ball handler, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus Giannis is at the 3, so
Yep.
we can just hide James in the corner on defense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so that's our team. I had a lot of fun doing this. I know that John, I feel it's funny. I feel like John and Matt were so nervous about it. They're like, what the hell are they going to do? But me and Matt McCann, we were like so pumped about it just because we like so many ways as to how we could approach our team. But I feel like each of us has like a pretty solid argument for which team is best, honestly. So there's really, all of us really have a good argument. So and such like we always do, I'm going to take time for each of us to make a case for all of our teams. If any of you want to start based on explaining your team and maybe your identity.
All right, so I feel like I kind of did from the jump. It was kind of just going to be well-rounded offensive players that can also play really good defense, and then that kind of fell apart when I took James Harden. But I think having Bird and Kareem Duncan and Kareem down low, they know how to play at the high post. They also, especially Duncan, can play at the high post and can run like sort of a pick and roll with James Harden if he wants. The defense is obviously there. I have 3 depoys and Bird, who wasn't a slouch, but he wasn't great. So the backcourt defense is probably the only weakness of this team that I'd say. There's shooting, there's rim protection. I think it's a pretty well-rounded team.
Okay, John, Matt, any of you want?
Yeah, I'll go next. Like Matt said, every team in this is going to be unbelievable. Chris, I would like to also make a quick switch with my team. Instead of 1969 Jerry West, I'm going to take 65-66 Jerry West when he came in second MVP voting that year, and he averaged 31.3. Jerry West's numbers are ridiculous, by the way.
Yes, they are.
Crazy. He only has 1 championship. So I don't know how good of a defender Jerry West was. I know Chris. 5-time all defensive team. I know he was very good.
One of the best guard defenders of all time.
Okay, cool. So my team, Kobe's one of the best shooting guard defensive wise of all time. One of the best better two-way players. 2013 LeBron is one of the best defenders of all time. Jason Tatum is an elite defender, guard 1 through 5, and 1994 Hakeem has an argument for being the best defender of all time as well. So my team is elite on defense and obviously elite scoring. Really 1 through 4 can switch. Not really Jerry West, but the Tatum can guard the 1, 2013 LeBron can guard the 1, 2006 Kobe can guard the 1, and Hakeem is an elite defender, and offensively they're not too bad either.
John?
Yeah, from my side, I guess I'll start with the front court in 63 Russell and 04 KG. You know, very, I think I've said versatile about 900 times on this podcast, but yeah, very, very fun front court, I would say. Two
It's
guys
like the
that are
most base
versatile.
front court of all time.
Yeah.
I do not want to go in that post.
No, I do not.
Two dogs.
I have,
down
two
low.
I have
dogs,
Shaq,
yeah.
and I have Shaq,
They
and
were-
I don't want to go in the front court.
They were dogs defensively, and I think 04 KG is almost underrated offensively, which is crazy to say.
Yes.
But he was great offensively, and then you kind of work your way up the list with 2014 Durant at the small forward, another guy who definitely wasn't a slouch on the
Elite
defensive end, but just a stud offensively, and then you kind of round it out. I think my point guard position is probably the weakest, and that's the most recent MVP in SGA. And then I think you have at my shooting guard, my first overall pick is 93 Jordan with, I think I just looked it up. He averaged like 33, 6.5 and 5.5 or something like that. I was, it's funny because when I was like trying to find like a good balance of like defense and offense and stuff, but
Yeah,
He did it.
with Jordan, yeah, thanks. With Jordan, I know he won MVP or not MVP, DPOY in '88. But I just think the offense was just so much more elite in '93, which is why I took, why I kind of sided towards that. But yeah, I think overall, pretty decent balance of offensive and.
Dude,
Your weakest.
you said your
weakest
team,
link.
and then I was like, wait, who's his shooting guard? I forget. And then you said 93 Jordan. I was like, oh my god.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, my weakest link was the finals MVP and MVP that averaged 33 points last year, 31 points.
All right. So yeah, for my team, I think my team is versatile in its own way. I think that on offense, I think we have debatably two of the four best offensive players of all time in Steph and Magic. But I do think there are, in some ways, you can argue the Magic is better on offense than either LeBron or MJ, depending on what you value or depending on how much it is. But that being said, as I mentioned, I think that's working Magic and Steph in the transition is going to be phenomenal. Obviously, defense is a bit of a concern with them, but not really, especially because Magic is going to be guarding the fours, not having to guard the perimeter. So that's going to be a little bit better for Magic. And then I have Kawhi and Scotty on anchoring the defense. So probably the two best wing defenders of all time, in my opinion. And with all even though like Magic is probably like the one weak link, as far as it goes for the perimeter of shooting, he still is, for someone who's not that great of a shooter. Like he was able to shoot a little bit more better down the stretch of his career. Someone who's not that great of a shooter, he still creates amazing spacing with his passing, and then just plopping Shaq in the middle of all that. I've always said that Shaq and Steph would be an amazing duo with their spacing, and then having Magic as like the primary as like the primary facilitator with either of those guys makes opens the world for everything. So if I were to say like the only thing that's holding me back, I guess might be Shaq playing defense in the center. But that being said, like I guess say the combination of Shaq and Steph defensively. But like I said, Scotty and Kawhi can guard 1 through 5, and they'll honestly probably just guard the two best players on the team, and then everything else will fall into place. So honestly, I think that John's team is probably the best, but like all of our teams have a pretty solid argument, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, Shea is getting Larry Bird off the court in 2 minutes because of foul trouble.
Yep. Yeah, I almost had us do a 6-man at the end, but yeah, I feel like that would I already sent out the agenda of everything, so it looked pretty confusing. I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it that. But all right, yeah, like just as per usual, I'm gonna have Olivia create the graphics, and then and then I'll post it after that. Still got one more segment left, and I think we'll do that'll be like a grand total of 3 minutes, just because I think we all want to get the hell out of here. But I don't know if you guys thought about it, but if you just want to shout out who you think has the potential to be a first-time All-Star this year, Matt McCann, I know you asked about it this morning. So who's one player that you have in mind?
Derek White is the one that I think is clearest because of the big jump with Tatum leaving, and last year he averaged 16, 5, and 5, and when Tatum was gone, he averaged 21, 4, and 6. So I mean, big jump offensively on assists and points. I think he's so good on defense, and I love the man. So that's my favorite. I have like 6 others, but we're not going to talk about those.
Yeah.
You got any matchups?
Yeah. I'm just seeing if he ever made the All-Star team. At first, I'm gonna say Chet Holmgren. I think he's gonna have a big jump. I'm also sorry. I'm just pulling this up now. We mentioned him earlier in the pod. Sorry, the iPad. Chris's old iPad is slow. Trey Murphy. I don't know if he made it last. No, he didn't make it last year.
He was on my list as well.
Yeah, I think he averaged 21, 5, and 4 last year. And usually, if you have a good end of the season, that also plays a factor into the next season instead of just the first half of the season for All-Star voting.
Sure. Yeah. Anyone, John? It's okay if you don't. If it's been a little while.
No, I don't. Those are the 2 guys that I had written down, and they both took them. So no, I don't have any.
That's okay. If it makes you feel better, I don't have any as well. I guess I'll go with Matt's guy, Denny Avdia. We mentioned him earlier. I feel like there is a world where he could make an All-Star game, but that being said, he does have a lot of competition out west.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, some other ones. I got Amon Thompson. Katie's going to mentor him. I think he's going to take a scoring jump. Desmond Bain might find some magic in Orlando.
Okay, yeah.
And then Franz Wagner. I can't believe he hasn't been an All-Star.
Crazy.
He got injured last year, right before.
He missed 20 games or something last year. So I think if he's healthy, he'll be an All-Star this year, no doubt.
I agree.
Jamal Murray. I think the Nuggets are going to be good this year. He might be his first year.
I think the Nuggets are going to be top 2 seed for sure.
Yeah, but I think he's just playoff rising. Like, I don't know if he's going to have the numbers.
I don't know.
Yeah. He's averaged 20 last couple seasons. Maybe if he kicks it up like 3 points, 23, he'll do it.
Dark horse candidate. Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't even think about rookies because normally it's not a question.
Usually not.
Yeah,
usually not.
Could easily be in the All-Star game.
Cooper Flag, Ugo Gonzalez, ton of rookies that could make it this year.
Yeah, RJ Lewis Jr.
Aaron Scott, maybe.
Our friendship.
Who am I thinking? Did Kobe White make the All-Star game last year?
No.
He could make it.
Maybe. The Bulls are going to win 8 games.
Can he beat him holding you at gunpoint? Because no, he doesn't. No, he cannot make the All-Star game.
Kobe White, you don't think could make the All-Star game?
I don't think he could, honestly. He was on pace, but maybe he can actually. But
he averaged 20.4, 20.4, 4.5, and 4 rebounds.
And the Bulls stink.
Better than Denny Avdia.
The Bulls stink. Who'd you say?
I said Denny Avdia.
Yeah, the Blazers, elite powerhouse team. They almost won 35 games last year.
Yeah, but
the Pelicans were awesome last year. Trey Murphy.
All right,
you guys are just dying over that Zionist Denny all podcast.
I was wondering if that was going to come up or not.
All Israeli Hooper.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
AIH,
all the things that have come up, I feel like that would be the one that would actually get me canceled. Actually, but all right, cool. This is a good show. Yeah. Obviously, we went a lot over. We don't usually do that, but I'm happy we did. I'm probably gonna go to the gym because I haven't gone a little bit. But
hold on, before you log off, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just looking at the comments today.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to bring that up.
Fluent farts. Guys, the best small forward is Michael Porter Jr. Please mention him. Followed up 1 minute later by real farts. Michael Porter Jr.
Followed by fake talk. MPJ.
The fluent farts after real farts.
I don't know how the hell that. This is the first one. This is like he was responding to the description of the YouTube. Yeah, so everything there. Yeah, I don't know who Fluent Farts is. If I'm sure it's Fluent's burner account, I'll have to ask him after the show. But yeah,
Fluent Farts and real.
Is there a relationship between Fluent and real farts?
They seem to be
find
cousins,
out next week.
Maybe brothers.
And what if it's or maybe it's Fluent Jr. actually? Maybe
Fluent Farts. If you're still watching, you're welcome on the pod next week. Just reach out to AIH.
AIH.
It's got to be over the screen.
All right. Yeah, that's our show. McCann, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on, John Matz.
Yeah,
as per
thank you
usual,
guys
thanks
for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Blast.
For sure. Follow me on all social media platforms. At All American Hooper on Instagram and on TikTok. At American Hooper on Twitter. Be sure to check out my additional content. I go live every Sunday nights with Sports Fluence, Ori B, and Jaylen Carter Music. Sunday nights at 10. And also check out my column at primetimesportstalk.com. My top 100 are it's not going to come out for another month and a half. My top 100, but like I have started writing it just because I always wait till the last second every year, and then writing 100 pieces about a player usually gets pretty tiring. So I'm doing it a little bit earlier this year. But yeah. But this has been another episode of the All American Hoops Podcast. Until then, keep grinding and stay hooping. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.